Welcome to Airborne for Wednesday from the AirVenture 2017 at Whitman Regional Airport from the rooftop patio of Hartselle Propeller. I'm Christopher C. Odom. On our program today, WomenVenture 2017, the 10th anniversary. The TBM 910 makes its AirVenture debut. And there's a lot going on in the world of avionics. These stories and more are coming up on this AirVenture 2017 edition of the Airborne Unlimited. Aero-News staffers attended the kickoff event to WomenVenture, the Women in Aviation Breakfast at the EAA Nature Center. The breakfast was attended by a large crowd of aviation enthusiasts, women and men, who were treated to a number of inspirational speakers and plans for this year's convention.
We just had our WAI Connect breakfast this morning here at the EAA Nature Center Pavilion. And one of our special announcements today, it's the 10-year anniversary of WomenVenture. And we shared a little bit of the history at the breakfast as to how this all began with an idea about 11 years ago about having Guinness Book of World Records come out to EAA, to Oshkosh, take a picture of all the women pilots who would be here and be a world record number of women pilots in one place at one time. Well, Guinness never actually took us up on that offer, but out of that developed this whole program of WomenVenture.
I have known Peggy since before the Women in Aviation existed, and it's been a pleasure to watch that grow. The networking that she has allowed the ladies to become involved with has been really terrific to watch. I'm involved in Women in Aviation because all of us needed mentors as we came along. Peggy has just done a phenomenal job of offering things to the ladies, from the scholarships to the networking, which is important.
I served with Peggy on the EAA board when we were both on that board, and Peggy started this organization. And it's been one of the best things that could ever have happened to young women in aviation. There was no support system for them at that time unless they had a family member. So Peggy has provided that through this organization. And I mean, she filled a niche that was really, really needed. We provide entry level for these women. It's the cheapest way there is for a young lady to start flying and build up her time for her profession, or even just for an avocation, just for fun.
The opportunities for women are vast. It's like any other industry, whether your background is HR, whether you're a pilot, whether you have a background in construction and engineering. All of those positions are opportunities within the drone industry. We started in September of 2016, and it was initially just going to be interviews of women here in the U.S., and it has quickly grown to become a global platform.
You open the door for the rest of us.
Thank you. Can you folks come on in? Well, this is such an honor, and I'm so glad that I can represent the WASP because there's so few of us left, and we're finally getting noticed. And so the more I can do to help the WASP, the story, the more I want to do it.
Daer brought their new TBM 910 to AirVenture for the first time, and A&N's Maxine Shear was there to get the details from Nicolas Chabbert.
Well, Maxine, we have here the TBM 910 along with the TBM 930. The difference between the two aircraft is one is equipped with the G1000 NXI, the latest version of the G1000 from Garmin, and the other is fitted with the Garmin G3000 touchscreen avionics suites. The main difference between the two avionics is that one is a little bit more keystroke and the other is actually a little bit more touchscreen. We have our return customers that tend to prefer to stay within their comfort level of the G1000 and they like to go with the NXI, so the TBM 910. And new customers are actually looking into the G3000 as the ultimate avionics suites because they compare to other products, and that's what is making the TBM 930 their choice. the TBM is providing the ultimate transportation machines that you can still fly by yourself. So our customers are excited to make sure that they can fly the aircraft wherever they want to go.
A&N's Jim Campbell talked to Continental Motors CEO Rhett Ross about a number of new product and engine upgrades, as well as a C-172 engine installation that they had on display at AirVenture 2017.
That features our Titan 370 engine. It's a 195 horsepower engine, 15 pounds lighter than the standard install. Works with constant speed propeller, so really great install. I haven't personally been able to fly it yet, but having been doing my IFR in a 172, I'm told this jumps off the runway. So I'm really excited to try that because flying around in the 172 is a slow thing, but very safe for training. And then the final thing here, standing in our background, is our new extensions to our PMA line. These are aimed at the Lycoming branded product. But we do have our new angle valve. This is in production. It is on the shelf at Aviol, our master distributor. Great price, great product. We've also brought in now roller tappets for engines that have the roller tappet mod out of the factory or whatever. And just in case you do something, we know that the roller tappets really help the cams, but we thought if we're going to do the rollers, we got to do the cams as well.
After the break, it's all avionics all the time, including one of the most innovative approaches to an instrument panel we've seen in a while.
We started with a 14-inch longer fuselage, high-end interior finishes, Garmin G3000 flight deck, and a fourth window to give additional natural light to the cabin. We then redesigned the wings and horizontal tail, increasing the wingspan by a full 4 feet. Welcome to the jet life.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Progressive Aerodyne's C-Ray Elite offers turbocharged Rotax power and Garmin G3X Touch avionics. Incredibly well equipped, you can fly away in this best-in-category amphib for less than $160,000. Visit cray.com for more details.
In collaboration with NASC, introducing Sonix Aerospace, bringing you the Taros Group 4 UAS, the redesigned Tiger Shark Block 4, and the Subsonics Twin Jet UAS, all derived from flight-proven manned systems, not concepts, real aircraft. More at sonixaerospace.com.
Welcome back to Airborne, coming to you this week from EAA AirVenture 2017 at Oshkosh, Wisconsin. If you've seen something around Oshkosh that's really cool, let us know with the hashtag OSH17Cool on your social media posts. What might happen if you totally rethought the way an instrument panel is presented in an airplane? To find out, A&N's Tom Patton talking to Mark Spencer from Avilution about the Unpanel.
Well, as you know, we've been working on avionics as a software product for some time. And by approaching it as a software problem, it gives us a lot of flexibility to be able to implement new ideas a lot more quickly and to take things from being just concepts to being an actual product way, way faster. The Unpanel is one of our first forays into actually taking that technology and producing something that's never been in the market before from even the perspective of the pilot who doesn't really care about what's happening behind the scenes. In the Unpanel, we sat down with Zenith, who of course has a lot of kit building customers, and we said, okay, so blue sky, tell us about what you'd like to see. And between the two of us, we came up with different ideas about an approach that took advantage and leveraged all this technology that's available to just dispense with everything that everybody's just inherited about airplanes, and said, well, if you could make an ideal interface for this kind of flying, specifically for bush flying, and people are just doing VFR stuff, what would it look like? And the Unpanel is a result of that.
From the world of certified avionics, Jim Campbell talked to Andy Davis, the CEO of Trig Avionics, about what's new from Edinburgh-based avionics company.
We have a couple of things that are new this year. One is that we've introduced new versions of our panel mount radios, the new TY96A and its higher power version, the TY97A, 760 channel VHF COM radios, super slimline form factor, fully certified and really pitched here at the US market with the 25 kilohertz spacing. Another of the great things that we're showing here at Oshkosh is our new TN72 GPS receiver. It's a really tiny remote mount GPS receiver. It is certified under TSO C199 and is shipping now. What it allows guys to do is fit that to their existing or new Trig transponder and produce an ADS-B out solution. Right now it's available for the experimental and light sport market and will allow them to meet the 2020 mandate, and what's more, it's a $389 product, so that's really inexpensive. We're working on paperwork to see if we can do the same thing for the certified market. At the moment there's differences of opinion on how that can be done.
There is a great disturbance in the force, if you will, for the avionics industry, starting with last year's revelations of STC paths that took formerly uncertified gear and started putting it in certified airplanes. That's got to be intriguing to a company like yours.
Oh, it certainly is. First of all, we think it's great because some of the people involved are some of our partners and it's opening up new opportunities. I'm also an aircraft owner myself and I like to see innovation. It also gives us some interesting options as the way we go forward. We're actively looking at whether some of the programs that we're doing, particularly those where the primary market is going to be a particular class of aircraft, where maybe instead of going for the full-blown certification path, there's a more focused route that will get us there quicker and perhaps less expensive.
When entrepreneurs begin to look at the avionics space, they can be intimidated by what is perceived as a mountain of regulations and paperwork. In an effort to demystify the process, the Aircraft Electronics Association has put together a technology incubator set for next month. Tom Patton talked with AEA's Rick Perry about the program.
Here at AirVenture, you've got a lot of products. You've got the experimental community and the light sport community, and they've got some great products. But we want to be able to bridge it into the certified world. The FAA has been working on this for a long time. We've got the NORC policies, they've got risk-based production now, they've got risk-based certification now. And so what we're doing is that we're holding a one-day incubator at our home office in Kansas City, in Lee Summit, Missouri. And what we're doing is that we're bringing together these entrepreneurs with the FAA in an all-day event, about 6 or 7 sessions with long breaks in between, so there'll be a lot of FaceTime, one-on-one with the FAA, one-on-one with the regulators, so that we can demystify this regulatory mountain that everybody sees and believes it's impenetrable, but it's actually quite manageable with knowledge.
The program is by invitation only, so visit the AEA website for information on how to apply. Meanwhile, here at AirVenture, don't forget to stop by the AEA booth to sign up for their $1,000 ADS-B giveaway. After these messages, Jim Campbell and Jack Pelton continue their wide-ranging conversation.
Takeoff is the daily companion app for pilots, packed with information to help you fly safely and have fun. We add 2 new posts every day of the year, including video tips, thought-provoking articles, and interactive quizzes. Visit sporties.com/takeoff.
When the runway is hard to find, ForeFlight's moving map and extended center lines keep you tracking toward the correct runway. ForeFlight, the app pilots depend on.
Trig Avionics. More pilots are realizing the benefits of Trig. We make innovative certified avionics that are easier to install and operate. Backed with the best support and warranty in the business. Contact your approved Trig dealer now. www.trig-avionics.com.
Based on the popular Sling 2 LSA, the Sling 4 was designed to be the most practical and desirable lightweight 4-place experimental aircraft on the market. Find out more about this 115 horsepower turbocharged airplane at airplanefactory.com.
Welcome back to Airborne Unlimited on Aero-TV, coming to you this week from AirVenture 2017 in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. In the third part of Jim Campbell's wide-ranging, no-holds-barred interview with EAA's Jack Pelton, we had a chat about the STC program they started last year that's already paying serious dividends, as well as some future prospects for the next generation airframes and engines.
Let's talk fun stuff.
I'm ready.
You alluded to a couple of things that have occurred out of the phenomenal, even inspired work you did working with a number of avionics vendors on STCs. And while it hasn't been announced yet, it will be by the time this airs. Okay. Dynon certified. Serious competition, a whole new certified companies coming out of that. TrueTrack's talking the same thing. A number of others are talking the same thing. Avidyne's just getting all kinds of guts about what they're going to do next. This process reinvigorated heretofore the part of the industry that I think is responsible for most of the technical progress GA has made over the last decade, if not a bit beyond that. That's heady stuff.
Yeah, it's so fun to see what's going to be announced and what's coming out of this. It really, like we wanted to do, we wanted to break some glass on the certification side and get people to rethink how do you get this new equipment into the cockpit that's out there today that's affordable and low cost. And
new, innovative, exciting, inventive stuff.
Yeah, we would...
and oh yeah, half the cost of what it's replacing.
Absolutely. I would talk with Dan at Avidyne and some of the other folks and say, at some point, the problem you guys have is everybody's just going to have an iPad and they're going to go back to steam gauges and never look at them because you've got this capability. We have to find a way to put that technology
Have you seen Avilution's Unpanel?
Yes. Unbelievable.
And totally cool.
Yeah.
This guy is 10 times too brilliant for this industry, and he's going to drag us kicking and screaming into the future. God bless them all. They've done phenomenal work in that area.
And we're seeing the cost come down, which is
huge.
They've broken the paradigm problem of used aircraft evaluations. And we looked at this when you get into even some of the bigger iron is you have a whole value that's already depreciated, and these avionics programs got to be where it would cost so much to put stuff in that it wasn't worth the value of the airplane. You might as well buy a newer airplane that's already equipped. They have finally figured a way out how to solve that problem. Autopilots, situational awareness, communication, all that being new into the cockpit.
There's tremendous amount of progress being made there, but we still have these two other areas. Power plants, it still costs way too much. It's still older technology, older metallurgy, so forth and so on. How do we make the next leap there? And that we can talk about the same thing with airframes. Between 3D printing, I mean, they're 3D printing entire jet engines.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, we see that technology come forward. I still think that as the evolution of the kit manufacturers go, that at some point you will download a file.
Yeah.
You'll go online to XYZ kit manufacturer, you like that product, and no paperwork or no metal will ever get mailed to your house to put in your, it'll be downloaded, you put it on your 3D printer, and at some period of time you'll have a finished product.
And of course that technology gets better by the day and more capable. But how many hundreds of thousands of dollars for a 172, Jack?
Whew.
Yeah.
More than I care to think about.
Yeah, I mean, God bless the airplane. Yeah. That airplane and I have had great adventures. But it's too much money for the person trying to not only dream of aviation, but raise a family, have a house, keep a car in the driveway. We have overpriced ourselves.
We have, and some of the points you hit on, a big piece of that is driven by the supply chain.
Yeah.
Just the cost of componentries because we're not building large volumes, and then everybody having to protect themselves. The whole liability. I don't know, when is it time to readdress tort reform again? It's almost as if the legacy players can't compete because they have been so successful in the past that they've got this cost structure and liability that they have to protect, that it's going to take some new entrants into the market. And that's hopefully going to happen with the new Part 23 rules that the FAA has implemented. But we got to convince people there's a market there. The volumes are just not where they should be to be able to do that.
Tomorrow, Jack and Jim will discuss flight training and the pilots of the future. Well, that's our program for today. We'll be back tomorrow with a look at the day's events from EAA AirVenture 2017 at the Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Keep flying. We'll see you tomorrow.